You know, I thought all day about how I would introduce this game. Then I kind of realized this game doesn't really need an introduction. Chances are, if you're here, you at least have some inkling of what Symphony of the Night actually is and what the Castlevania franchise actually is. So here's the deal. We're going to be playing through Symphony of the Night for Halloween. We're just going to do a normal playthrough, no fancy codes or anything like that. We'll come back to this game later, play some of the extra modes. But we're playing this on the Xbox 360, as you can tell by this warp screen. I gotta do that hard drive. I have to... Alright, so we gotta do a little bit of setup and then we'll be back. Alright, we're back. We solved our technical dilemma here. So what I was starting to say was we're gonna play through Symphony of the Night. We're gonna do a, kind of just regular mode. Have some fun with it for Halloween. I'm gonna start a new game. I'm just gonna call it my channel name for right now. If it fits. I don't even know if it'll fit. It's gonna be close. No, it's not. It's not gonna fit. Okay, so then we are going to do the short version, which is we pretty much remove all the vowels. Where's L? There it is. Where's L, said Mitch, in the alphabetically arranged numbers. Listen, kids, I don't actually know my alphabet. I am somewhat illiterate. I never learned to actually read or write. I don't even know how I'm doing this right now. It's a miracle. Alright, serious mode aside. So we are going to play Symphony of the Night on the Xbox 360 because that is what I own this game on. And this is one of my favorite games of all time. And I actually don't say that from nostalgia because I did not play this game I did not play this game growing up. I first played it on the Xbox 360. And I can tell the whole story behind that as we get into the game, and I need to fill time by talking about stuff because I'm really eager to jump into this. So I'll try to explain as I go of what's going on. One last thing, we are going to be shooting for that magical 200.6% completion in this. I'm going to attempt to do it from memory. I have done it a few times in the past, but most of the time, I'm old. I'm really not that old, but I feel old. And my brain is old. So I usually can only get like 199.7% off of memory. And I might have to look the last couple of things up that I missed. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So for now, let's jump right into it, huh? Alright. For some reason, it looks like I gotta boost up my volume here. Technical difficulties, they never cease. Oh, there we go. That's the magic right there, baby. Okay. We boosted that audio way up. You should be able to hear the video game now. Alright. Let me see if I remember how to do stuff. Okay, so, where to even begin? So, Symphony of the Night is a sequel to a Japanese exclusive Castlevania game called Rondo of Blood, starring Richter Belmont, who this is who we're playing as right here. Now, Rondo of Blood did not actually get released in America. Instead, we got a version of the game called Dracula X. I think this was called, right? It was on the Super Nintendo. I never actually owned that game growing up either. But anyway, pretty much, long story short, while I refamiliarized myself with the controls, we got like a butchered port of Rondo of Blood in America. And a lot of that kind of messed with the lore of the series, I guess. So the beginning of Symphony of the Night is pretty much a retelling of Rondo of Blood. Pretty much, it's the final encounter here. And my Xbox 360 controller is kind of new. And also, it's kind of a cheap knockoff controller. So I gotta bring it in while we play this. So I apologize if it's like obnoxiously loud when I click the stick back and forth. And also why Richter won't run when I tell him to. So, yeah. Rondo of Blood. This is pretty much the ending of Rondo of Blood because it's important to the story. I'm just going to pick up some hearts, and I'll let the game do its job.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.
And thus, the meme was born. Alright, so as Richter, we gotta fight Dracula. And in the original version of the game, your performance against Dracula in this fight determined your starting stats at the beginning of the game, because this is the prologue. But since we are... Like, I would have already screwed up, because the best way to get the best stats is to beat Dracula without getting hit, using the holy... using the holy water, but without using the item crash, I believe. But since this is the Xbox 360 version, and none of that matters, because we have the same stats no matter how good we do in this, we're just going to spam the item crash to make life easy, and also to hide the fact that I completely suck when I play as Richter in this. Not that when I play as the, you already know that we end up playing as Alucard in this. There's no sense in hiding it. Not to hide the fact that when I play as Alucard, I'm probably going to suck too. But that's alright. So another thing is, the original game has kind of like CG cutscenes, but they don't exist in the 360 version. I'm going to read this text and I'll explain the whole story behind that. It was Richter Belmont, the legendary vampire hunter, who succeeded in finally ending the menace of Count Dracula, lord of the vampires who had been brought back from the grave by the Dark Priest Shaft. However, one night, 4 years later, under the glare of a full moon, Richter mysteriously vanished. With no idea of where to begin her search, Maria Renard set out to look for him. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania, the castle of Dracula, which is rumored to appear once every century, suddenly materialized from out of the mist as if to show her the way. Meanwhile, powerful forces were struggling for the soul of a man named Alucard, the very same Alucard who had teamed up with Trevor Belmont to battle his immortal father, Count Vlad Tepes Dracula. Alucard, in order to purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, had submerged his vampiric powers and entered into what was supposed to be an eternal slumber. But now he is awake and aware of the evil again at work in his homeland. The time has once again come for the forces of good and evil to engage in their ancient battle. Dracula's castle beckons for you, and no man can say who shall emerge victorious. So, the reason this has no CG cutscenes is, when this game first was released on Xbox Live Arcade, there was a file size limit as to how big arcade games could be. And this game, even without the CG cutscenes, was actually over that limit. So they increased the limit just for this game. Why there was such an arbitrary thing as a file size limit probably has to do with technology limitations at the time, who knows. But that's the story as to why this has no CG cutscenes. So yeah, this is the start of the actual game now. And we are playing as Alucard, who is the son of Dracula. You might know him from Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, or you probably better know him from the Castlevania anime, in which his appearance is based on his appearance in this game. Because in Castlevania 3, he actually looks a lot more like Bela Lugosi Dracula from the 1930s. So, this is an RPG. It is part of the Metroidvania genre of games. It's actually a genre that this game kind of invented. So basically, in a nutshell, Metroidvania takes the 2D platforming exploration style of gameplay from Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo and mixes it with RPG elements. This was the first game to really do that, so it kind of created its own genre. You can see that we equip Alucard with all sorts of items that we'll pick up during our journey. He has access to spells. There are relics that we will find that gives us certain augments. We can also do some different stuff with the system, but we're not going to bother with that. We'll acquire familiars as we play. There is also a map that we can check that fills in as we play. And that is the bulk of the situation right here. So we'll press onward. So Symphony of the Night, as I was starting to say, I did not actually play this game when it first came out back on the PlayStation. In fact, the first time I played this game was on the 360. And I actually, you know, it's interesting because I watched the Angry Video Games Nerd retrospective on the Castlevania series, and he talks about how after Castlevania 64, he kind of just assumed, and like he never heard of Castlevania again after that, he kind of just assumed Castlevania was dead. And that was pretty much my experience growing up too. Oh crap. That was pretty much my experience growing up too, was that, you know, assuming that Castlevania, I had, like, honestly, my next Castlevania game after Castlevania 64 was actually Curse of Darkness on the PlayStation, which I love, by the way, and I think that's a game that's going to, you know, a lot of people hated it back then, but it's a game that I think is going to be remembered more fondly as time goes on, especially thanks to the influence of the anime, with Hector being a character in that. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. So, the first time I actually played Symphony of the Night was on the 360 over here, and I fell in love with it immediately. And let me tell you, it has become one of my favorite games ever. So people who say that, you know, people only like older video games, only like them because of nostalgia, I beg to differ, because this is a prime example of a game that I did not even play when I was young, that is just a little older, that I happen to like. Alright, now that I got the cat out of the bag here, there's a couple of secrets we can get. We can come through this way, break off over there. We're going to have to come back here later for to do even more fancy stuff with that. I'm also trying to kill a couple enemies because it's very useful to gain some levels early on in this game. Also, Alucard has a backdash like that is actually faster than how he walks. So sometimes, especially if you watch speedruns of this game, they like spam that, and it looks ridiculous the entire time because it's like they moonwalk through the entire level. Also, you might notice that I'm jumping and attacking a lot, and that's because it's a faster animation if you jump and attack than if you just stood there and attacked.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Still befriending mortals. I'll not ask you to return to our side, but I demand you cease your attack.
I will not.
You shall regret those words. We will meet again.
What?
Oh no! But Death, I need those. So, we pretty much just lost all of our equipment, and that is mandatory for it to happen, at least in this mode. So, if we look at our inventory here, pretty much everything, we have lost everything except for a couple of things. The 2 healing items that we picked up, and we have a neutron bomb, which I don't remember why we start with. And we have a gem, which is called a zircon, which we can sell. At some point, there is obviously a shop in this game. So we're going to press on, but before we press on, I want to jump down here, land in here, and get a heart max up. That's going to increase the maximum amount of hearts that we can carry. If you know your Castlevania, you would be well aware that hearts equals ammunition for your sub-weapons that you'll pick up, which are kind of like throwable weapons a lot of the time that are in addition to the main weapon you're using. Alright, so if we come over here and we punch the crap out of that guy, we will get our first weapon, which is a short sword. Let's go ahead and equip that. Go through this door, you'll see that that's blocked off. We'll have to come back here later. Jump up here. I'm going to take out that guy without getting hit. Here we get the red rust, which is... Alright, so there's a couple of different kind of weapons here, and you can actually sort your inventory, which is something I didn't know the first time I played this, and when I found it, I felt like an idiot, but I also felt like the world became even better. So, there are short swords, which kind of have a slow attack speed, short range. Well, hold on. Sometimes they have a fast attack speed, but the short sword is actually one of the slower attacking weapons in this game. Then there's regular swords. This is the majority of weapons that you'll find. They have a pretty average attack speed. Sometimes they're quite fast. Two-handed swords honestly, most of the time, I don't know, they're a mixed bag. First of all, they prevent you from equipping a shield or a secondary weapon, or a healing item, because the way you use healing items is you put them in your offhand, and, you know, when you switch to one, you unequip the two-handed weapon, you go back in the menu and equip it. It's a pain in the ass. I usually don't use the two-handed weapons. A lot of them are swords. Then there are fists, clubs, and then throwing one is weapons that you throw that do not have a ammunition limit. And then throwing two is weapons that do. At least I believe so. I might have that backwards. I don't think I do, though. But ignore that for now. Let's go through this door. I can show you a save room. So let's go ahead and save the game. Solidify this save file that we started. Also, every time you go into a save room, it restores your health, which is nice. And here we get our first relic, the Cube of Zoe. And what that'll do is that'll make it so hearts, well, candles now drop hearts. So we'll go through this door. And welcome to the first area in the game, the Alchemy Laboratory. So what we want to try and do is not get absolutely destroyed over here. Alright, so first we want to hit this button. Boop. Drop down the spikes, come over here, get the Hide Purist. Let's go equip that. That'll give us a little bit of defense. We're going to leave the Alchemy Laboratory in a second. I just want to get some starting gear first. Alright. Gently jump over that. Let's go get the leather shield. Let's make sure we put that on too. There's a little bit of increase in defense. Jump up here, jump up here. See, that's one of the tough things about the short sword, is it's short range. And a lot of the time you're going to be just outside of the range of those guys. Alright. Pretty much I just want to get one last little item. And then I'm going to show you a little secret. But, so, this is an area where you kind of... Well, there's a save area first. Let me refill my health. So we're going to get to an area a little bit earlier than you usually would be able to get to. Well, not usually. You can... Alright, so a lot of people think that in order to properly get up this area, you have to use a double jump. But you don't actually have to. What you need to do is kill that skeleton. You're going to lure him towards you, and you're going to kill him once he steps over the little thing over there, if he wants to, Mr. Skeleton, if you wouldn't mind coming back for me, that would be absolutely lovely. If you want to come a little closer to me. Perfect. So we're going to kill him right there, and we don't have a lot of time, and we're already messing it up, because the controller's a little stiff, and when he walks by, he should lift this up. No, he didn't do it. Alright, come back over here. It takes a little bit to set up, so please be patient with me. But it does work. I've done it numerous times in the past. Sometimes what happens is he doesn't stay on the button long enough. So you want to really kill him so that he gets a, you know, a good amount of distance here. And then he's going to walk over it. Alright, I actually think what we need to do is kill him just before it, because then he walks over it, and then he'll walk back over it while it's still up in the air. It'll give us the extra boost that we need. Come on, Mr. Skeleton. Alright, let's see if this works. Nope. Alright. What we're gonna do, actually, is drop down here. Hopefully lure him over. If this takes too long, I'll cut it. I'll cut this part. Oh. Ow. Alright, perfect. Let's see if we can get it to work this time. Kill him. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ah! We jumped too early. Oh. I should have stayed on it. I didn't know what he's gonna do. Alright. So yeah, welcome to Mitch Spectacularly Fails at Symphony of the Night, Part 1. Come on. Come on! You take it for... What are you doing? I'm over here. You see me. I know you see me. Come on. Follow the Alucard. There we... Mr. Skeleton. Mr. Skeleton, you have some nerve. What are you doing? Alright. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go out. Come back in. Hopefully he follows me here, because I want to get the... There's an item this way that I really want to get, because it's incredibly useful. Alright, we're going to try this again. Hopefully this knight doesn't fuck this up. Ah! Dang it! Alright, hold on. I gotta go kill that knight. You know what? We're just gonna cut until I do it. Fucking finally! Thank you! Okay, we're cutting back in over here. So, yeah. Alright, what I wanted was this weapon. The Alucard. It's really useful. And really good. Because you'll see that it attacks a hell of a lot faster than the shitty short sword that we were using. It's a little weaker. By like a point. But that point is so negligible. There we go, see? Alright. So what I'm going to do is take a pop in here, because I actually think I need to re-equip the short sword real quick. Come on, aim down, there we go. Because there's 2 secret rooms over here, and then we're leaving the alchemy lab. There we go, perfect. Life max up, this is exactly what I wanted. And the reason we're going to leave the alchemy lab, you're going to see when we do. Because there's a little bit of an Easter egg that I want to show. Drop down, drop down, drop down. Good. Get rid of those spikes. Why don't I have the Alucard equipped? Said Mitch, who is an idiot. Perfect. Now we are in good shape. Alright. Let's leave the alchemy lab so I can show you what I wanted to show you. And also show off a spell. If I don't leave the room. Let me kill this guy first. It's going to be too hard to do it right here. Alright, so if I go like that, that's called Dark Metamorphosis. And what that does is anytime you hit an enemy that bleeds, and they bleed on you, it'll heal you. Almost like Alucard is a vampire, huh? Kind of cool, neat little touch right there. Alright, so we are going to come down here, kill that guy. So pretty much what we want to do is we want to drop down, and actually over here, this is Slogra and Gaibon from Super Castlevania 4. And what they actually are is, they're going to be the boss of the alchemy lab. But if you go down here early, before you fight them, but after you go into the alchemy lab, so you have to go into the alchemy lab, come back out, drop down there, and they'll be down there waiting for you. You can have a little bit of a practice battle. Now, I just kind of pooped all over Slowgrowth with the Alucard right there, and that's kind of the reason I wanted, because you saw how fast that was. They're a little tougher when you fight them as the actual boss with the Alucard, but they're actually easier in that confined space when you have this weapon equipped. So if you're going to do that, I recommend using this weapon over the short sword, because the reach of the short sword is not really worth its slow attack speed, especially at such a low level where you are going to need to do a lot of damage very quickly because you don't have a lot of health to spare. You know, kind of like RPG 101 right there, I guess, huh? There we go. Please stop throwing bones at me, Mr. Skellington. It's very rude. Got a shield potion, and we fell down. What else is new? Thank you. Alright, jump back up here. Let's actually play Symphony of the Night now. Now that I did the bullshit stuff out of the way, we can actually go play the video game. Pick up that 1-cent coin. Never leave money laying on the ground. You never know when you're going to need money in a video game. You're never going to know when you need money in actual life. If you find money on the ground and it looks like it's something that somebody dropped and it's not something that somebody stole and then left lying around, pick it up. You have my permission. Just tell the police that when they come and stop you and say, hey, why you have a briefcase full of $100,000? And you say, well, you know, I watched Mitch's Let's Play of Symphony of the Night on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to his channel and like his video and all that. And he gave me permission to pick up the money that I found on the ground. So, yeah. Don't actually tell them that, though, because you'll get me in trouble. And I don't really want to get in trouble in life. It's not one of my biggest aspirations, but sometimes it seems unavoidable. Alright, let's kill this spittle bottle right there. And we're going to take out this knight, because he's a little bit of a pain in the ass. We're going to take out that knight, because he's definitely a pain in the ass. I'm going to drop down over here. I'm going to hit this. What we can do is we can actually push this box. Boop, just like that. Jump back up. Jump up over here. Nice. Now, is there something on the side? I don't remember. I know there's something at the top of this little climb right here. If I could... See, my controller's not quite broken in. So it's not really jumping when I want it to. But yeah, we can come up here, get the cloth cape, which is kind of our last major piece of starting gear here, which is good. So, you might say, Mitch, is Symphony of the Night your favorite Castlevania game? And to me, well, favorite Metroidvania game? Absolutely. And I have played some of the other Castlevanias that were in the Metroidvania style, and I do like them quite a bit, but Symphony of the Night is definitely my favorite. However, I would say my favorite Castlevania of the old school style is Super Castlevania 4, and that is 100% due to nostalgia, but I also just think it's a very good game at the same time. And I like it a lot better than the other old school style Castlevanias, because, you know, people say it's easier, and it is definitely easier, but then people also have this myth that it's an easy game, and I disagree. It is a challenging game, especially if you do not have a lot of dexterity, like your friend Mitch over here, who does not have very fine motor skills in his fingers. But it is a game that provides a level of challenge and can be quite fun. So we're going to pick up that axe, and then we're going to come over here, just because I want to show this door. So remember this door, because we're going to have to come back to that door later. And I also want the axe for the room that we're about to go into. And I want to make sure that we're full on hearts, which we are. And I also want to try something here. Alright, perfect. So that is another spell. That is the Hellfire spell. And you'll see that blue bar at the top. I didn't really explain it when I performed Dark Metamorphosis, but that is essentially your, you know, your mana, your MP. And when you cast a spell, it takes that up. So you'll always know when you enter a boss room, because the way is going to shut behind you, meaning that you can't go back now. And look who it is. It is our good friend Slogar and Guyvan. Oh. So this fight is pretty easy. What he's going to do is pretty much you're going to smack the crap out of Slogra until he, you know, Gabon's going to pick him up. Eventually his spear is going to break. And then you just kind of go from there. So there are two different versions of Hellfire. There is that version that fires the big orbs, and then there's the regular version, which fires little orbs, you know, the 3 fireballs like that. The little version is faster. The bigger version does a hell of a lot more damage. And the way you do that is you just hold, you hold up after you do the input. And I'll show you the input screen in a second. That way you can see the inputs that I'm doing. But let me just kill him real quick. So yeah, when he turns red, he gets faster and he fires fireballs a lot faster and they're a lot bigger, but I killed him too quick. So let's look at the spell menu here. So one thing I do want to say about the directions, because sometimes people get this confused about the directions of spells in this game and the inputs is, a lot of people think of it like a fighting game where it's dependent on the side that you're facing. That is not true. So don't read that as, back up, whatever, like back forward. It's more like, left, up, right, right. Then, since we're on the 360, X would be. So there's a couple of other spells that we can do. I just don't quite remember. We might also not have enough MP to do a lot of them. But I gotta remember them off the top of my head, because that's kind of the whole point of this. I don't really want to look them up. You can also acquire pretty much scrolls that will tell you the move list moves for the spells. Although you can actually just do them without requiring that at all. Alright, we don't want to go through there just yet. We actually want to keep going this way. Jump up, jump up. Don't worry about that room. We can't go in there right now. Actually, we don't want to go that way either. We want to come here first, because this is the save room. I like to save frequently, because you never know. I'm not really concerned about dying. I don't think I'm going to die. I say that every Let's Play. I don't think I'm going to die in this game, but I probably will. Just because it's a Let's Play. But, where am I going with this? Yeah, I like to save more because you never know when just some stupid glitch is going to happen, some stupid technical hiccup or whatever. So, well, let me show up. This is a pretty cool sub-weapon. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a ping pong ball. It bounces off the walls. You can actually do some pretty cool stuff with it. The only downside about it, and yes, there is a downside. Oh, we got poisoned. Alright, so poison in this game doesn't work how poison usually works in an RPG. Instead, it pretty much makes you do half damage. There we go. And it goes out. It goes away after a while. At least I thought it did. It lasts a while, though. I don't remember it lasting this long. But yeah, I wanted to come down here to get that potion. Plus, technically going this way is shorter. I think. Actually, no, I don't think we can get up this way. We may not be able to. No. Let me try, Why won't I jump? What's going on? That was weird. Alright, we might have to switch... Oh, the A button's getting stuck. Alright, we gotta switch controllers. Alright, looks like we're back with a working controller. And for the longest time, I had a... Oh, I don't want... Well, I should show what this is. So this is my least favorite sub-weapon. It's like Holy Ashes. It probably looks like something else if you have a certain kind of mindset. But I don't really like it, just because it's kind of weak, and I usually can't find an application for it. And I'm trying... There we go. I'm trying to get a little jump boost there with the backdash. You'll see me do that again later as kind of a shortcut for something, which I think I already missed. Actually, I think we got to go back. Why did I go that way? This is the right way to go. So yeah, for the longest time, I had an Xbox 360 controller that I bought at GameStop, and that thing lasted for years, and let me tell you, it worked like a charm the entire time. The analog stick, like the covering for it, was all ripped off. The, what do you call it? The A button was dented in, but still worked perfectly fine. The left bumper, like, literally felt like it was going to fall off any second. Worked totally, perfectly fine. And that controller shit the bed on me. But, interestingly, none of those things that I just mentioned were the reason it crapped itself. But the B button actually stopped working from out of nowhere. Well, it didn't stop working. Essentially what happened was you would use it, and didn't mean to do that. You would press it in, but it became loose, so it like would constantly press itself, almost like the controller was haunted or something. Alright, this is where I wanted to go. We want to come down here. I forgot about this elevator. Like I said, playing from memory. It's been a couple of years since I last replayed this. So, anyway, back to my controller story. So, ever since that broke, and that broke well after the lifespan of the 360. Well, you know, I've gone through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, hey, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Xbox 360 controllers that I bought off of Amazon, all of which have developed a drift within the course of a couple of weeks. To the point where I finally said, screw it, and I bought an Xbox One controller for my computer to play computer games, which I'm not really a fan of. But essentially, yeah, this would lead you back to where the base lard is, but I just wanted to activate that switch and also get the sunglasses, which my short-term memory has made me wonder if I equipped it, and I did. But essentially that left me, now I'm realizing, without really a reliable 360 controller. So, you know, we'll see what happens here. Oh. That's alright, he'll heal me up. I'm not concerned about that. As you see, the skeleton dropped a short sword. So, man, people with cars are so obnoxious. Anyway, with the skeletons, every enemy can drop items, and they have set items that they will drop. With the skeleton, the first drop is guaranteed. The first skeleton you fight will automatically always drop the short sword, but everything after that is a random chance. And I believe they can drop something else besides the short sword as well. I think it's a potion that you can use. Alright, let's keep going. Let's take this guy out. Let's not get poisoned this time. There we go. Now that I'm using like a broken-in controller. So the only reason I'm able to use this controller right now is because this controller only has a drift in the right analog stick. And we don't actually need the right analog stick for this game. So essentially I'm using a perfectly fine controller. Knock on wood. Come through here. Welcome to the Marble Gallery. Here we get a classic item returning, the Holy Water. It pretty much does the same exact thing as the Holy Ashes, or whatever that is. But yeah, as far as the sub-weapons go, my favorite in this game is actually the axe. But I also like this one a lot. This one is very useful for certain situations and areas. The gem that ricochets off everything, which I don't actually know the name of. It does take up a lot of hearts, though. But I want to check the map here. Yeah, it looks like so far we're doing pretty good as far as exploration goes. You'll see that there's openings on the map on some of the sides. Those are rooms we have not been to yet that we could go to. And we're going to start working our way back towards some of those rooms in just a minute. This is the dagger. Works how you would expect from classic Castlevania games. It's actually not terrible in this game. It's not very strong, though. Usually the dagger has a reputation of being an awful weapon in most Castlevania games. In this game, as Alucard, it's not bad. You could do better. But for Richter, I would argue is actually one of the better sub-weapons, primarily because of its item crash, which is really good for taking out bosses. Alright, so we are going to trek down this way. Hopefully not land on that asshole. You'll see that there's an opening there, but we can't get up there just yet. As you can guess, if you've never played this game before, there are all sorts of abilities we're gonna unlock later on that will make exploration even easier. So, like, see, we can't get up there right now, but later on, we'll be able to get up there no problem. And legitimate ways, too, not with, like, Mitch's fancy, oh, you know, we're gonna hit the skeleton, let him die, he'll get back up, step on the lever, and it'll give us a boost that we gotta jump, and then we'll get hit by the other skeleton and launched up there. Alright, so this is our next relic. This is the Spirit Orb. And I forget if it says enemy names or if it tells us the damage we do. It tells us the damage we do. Alright, because there's another relic that we're going to get soon that tells us the damage the enemy does. Oh, look at that ricochet. That was lovely, huh? Let's see if we can do it again. Nope. Well. We don't need that. Alright, so we are about to encounter a very powerful enemy. Now, we could fight him. And not this guy. This guy is actually quite the chump. He hits like a truck a little bit, but, you know, I'm not too concerned. Pretty much, we throw that at him. Dash away. Go in for the kill. Slow him down a little bit with that. There we go. Died pretty easily. But there's going to be an enemy coming up very, very soon that is kind of dangerous, and I recommend that you don't fight him because he's kind of like a 2 hits and you're dead kind of guy, especially at a low level like this. I'll let you know when he's coming up for sure, but first we gotta get through this hallway with some ghosts in it. There you go. Gain a level. Sometimes these ghosts are very generous and they'll drop a lot of money. I'm not going to stand... You could stand here and grind ghosts if you want, but because this is a Let's Play, I'm not going to really do a lot of grinding. And if I decide to grind at certain parts of the game, I will probably cut that out. Like, I'll show you the grinding spot and I'll explain why I find it to be an optimal grinding location. But I think I'm going to take the dagger for this. Because this is actually a good situation for the dagger. Because I want to try and show you what this guy is like. Alright, so I spam daggers at him. He's not that hard to kill. But trust me, you do not want to get hit by that guy. Because he'll do a lot of damage to you. And this has taken us back over here where we can get a shield potion. You come over here. Let's do a little dark metamorphosis here. Get healed. Now we want to drop down. Alright, and normally you would say, well, we can't make that jump. But what you do is you backdash, and then at the last second, on the first try, you jump. And I'll give you just enough of a boost to clear the gap. You can come in here, get a life max up. Very useful thing. And then you're back down over here. And we aren't going to go through the entire alchemy lab all over again. Instead, we're going to go back up. But we are going to save. I'm just impressed I did that on the first try. I was honestly expecting to fail that over and over and over. Like I did with those fucking skeletons, man. But, hey, first try is the charm, I guess, for that one. I think it's because I got some practice in doing it in the Marble Gallery. On a platform that I don't even think I had to really use it on. Although I think technically that room is the alchemy lab still. That room that I was doing that on earlier. You know what I mean. You watched the video. You know what I'm talking about. Alright. So an interesting little tidbit here about this enemy. The name of this enemy in this version of the game is called Cthulhu. And that is because his name is wrong. Alright, see, he does 18 points of damage by just touching me. That's not even counting getting hit by him. So the name of this enemy in this version of the game is Cthulhu. And there is a later enemy in the game that pretty much looks like him but has like an actual octopus head. And his name is Malachi. And you might be like, Mitch, is Malachi like the secret alternative name for Cthulhu in Italian or something? No, what actually happened is the names got mixed up in the translation for those two. And essentially the enemy that is called Malachi in this game is supposed to be called Cthulhu, and vice versa. So that enemy in future Castlevania games... Because one thing about Symphony of the Night is, like, they made this game... And then they continued to reuse all the sprites from this game for the next, like, 87 games after. So, when that enemy shows up again later in other Castlevania games, he is called by his proper name, which is Malachi. But in this game, he's Cthulhu. So just get used to it. There's nothing I can do about it. Alright, we're gonna come back over this way. Deal with this asshole again, if he doesn't kill me. Throw daggers at him. Doesn't really do a lot of damage, but that's okay. We're gonna back away. Spam him to death. There we go. Got a nice little level up going on. Things are coming together, and I couldn't be more happy. Alrighty. Let's keep on trucking. So, Symphony of the Night also has some incredibly good music. You've probably been listening to it in the background, I hope. If not, what are you doing with your life? You should be listening to the music. In fact, you should be listening to the music so much that you should honestly stop this video, go listen to the Symphony of the Night soundtrack, come back, because let me tell you, it is some of the best video game music ever composed, in my opinion. Alright, let's kill these marionettes. So yeah, you can actually block projectiles with your shield, and they'll do no damage. I can't remember if I've already done that for you to see yet. And you can actually walk with your shield out. You just hold down the button and move. It's a nice little feature. Although, honestly, it's usually easier to just duck under a projectile most of the time. The only time you really need to, like, have your shield out is if you want to be able to close that distance. Or if it's something that's low and you can't destroy it with your weapon, so you need to block it. That's the only other time I can really think of you doing that. I'm going to take a quick dip in here. Restore our health. Save the game, because why not? We're already in here, you know? Why go into a save room if you're not going to save the game? That's just silly. Who does that? Actually, I think I did that without saving the game at one point. But I think that's in the section I cut out from the skeletons, but I don't know. Okay. These bastards. The flea men? Oh boy. They are annoying as hell in every Castlevania game.
Wait a moment.
And also here.
You seem human, and yet, what do you here?
I've come to destroy this castle.
Then we have the same purpose. I'll trust you for now. I'm Maria. Who are you?
Alucard.
Not the talkative type, I can see. Well, perhaps we'll meet again, if you live that long. Farewell.
Alright. So that is Maria. She is the little girl in Rondo of Blood in Dracula X. And she is all grown up in this game. So yeah, like I was saying about these flea men, we'll run into her again. These flea men, you know, classic Castlevania enemy, annoying as hell in every Castlevania game. This game, no exception. Those regular versions, not really so bad, but actually I am going to take the gem. But later on, we're going to run into a variant of them that make me rage. So prepare for that. That'll be fun. Jump up here. See, now that's one of those instances where I actually should have used the shield. My overconfidence will be my undoing. Boop. Shield potion, nice. Not that I'm really going to use it. I almost never use potions in this game. I believe up here is... Oh, we got a leather shield. Getting lucky with some of these drops. I should probably take a moment to explain stats. So, if you go up here, you'll see another one of these blue doors. We'll have to come back to this in a minute. I want to just explain Alucard's stats. He has 4 stats. Strength pretty much determines your attack damage. Constitution determines your health. Intelligence determines the damage that your spells do and also the damage that your sub-weapons do. And your luck is pretty much your chances that an enemy will drop a good item. So, like, when these guys drop a leather shield, that is influenced by our luck stat. And luck also determines your likelihood to get a critical hit. So, for instance, if you have 99 luck, you can, you know, expect really good drops, criticals all the time. But, you know, that's not exactly an easy thing to do. Unless you use a code. Which we might come back and play this game in that mode, you know, sometime in the future. Oop, get that. I feel like I missed a relic. Did I? No, I don't think I did. I just think I maybe didn't get it yet. Alright, so this enemy is called a Stone Rose. And it's going to shoot out those things that turn you into stone. And I'm actually going to let it turn me into stone for a second, because there's an Easter egg that I might be able to show you. But pretty much when you get turned into stone, you just wiggle the stick, shake it off. Doesn't do any damage. I'm going to let it hit me a few more times, see if I can show you what I want to show you. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to say screw it and kill it. Give it one more shot. It's very rare for it to happen, but sometimes it does, you never know. Pretty much, what I'm trying to get happen is when you get hit by that, there is a chance that Alucard will turn into a stone gargoyle. And it's just kind of a cool little fun Easter egg. Very rare chance for it to happen. So it might happen in the future, because there's a couple enemies we'll run into that'll turn us into stone when they hit us, or when they shoot things at us. You might get to see it there. I'm going to keep the axe, because I like the axe. It's very useful. Zippity-doo-dah. Alright, we are at the outer wall. Come over here, pick that zircon up. We are going to dip down first. Alright, so here we run into the Medusa head, but also we are going to ignore this guy completely. That was a little more scary than it looked. We're going to break this wall, get a pot roast, and then we're going to just chill here for a second. While we do that, I'm going to go take a drink. And you can watch some magic happen, hopefully. So yeah, wait there long enough, a platform will form, you can come down here, get the Jewel Knuckles and the Mirror Cuirass, both of which are fairly strong for this place in the game. You'll see that the Base Lard gives us an attack of 11, Jeweled Knuckles going to boost us up to 26. Very, very useful. Mirror Cuirass actually makes you immune to getting turned into stone. That would have been helpful a couple of minutes ago. If we try to come over here, you can't, but it says mist could pass. Oh boy, wonder what that means. So yeah, Jewel Knuckles is a fist weapon. Very fast attack speed. Like I said, very powerful for this point in the game. I recommend getting it. You can fight this guy legitimately, but honestly the easiest way is to just use your Hellfire spell and teleport past him like this. And then hopefully he doesn't do that to you while you have very low health. Now, if you're feeling ballsy, you can fight this guy, and there's a couple of ways that you can do it. Having the axe is actually a very useful way. And if you're going to actually spam axes at him, what I recommend is you unequip the sunglasses, because that'll get rid of your intelligence penalty. And Hopefully you don't get hit by a Medusa head, too. And you'll see that that boosted the damage that we did with the axe by a little bit. So yeah, you can spam him with sub-weapons. If you kill him, you will get a nice chunk of experience points, which will be helpful for it. You just gotta also be careful, because he will put up a shield like that. Or you could punch him, too. But, you know, that's if you're feeling extra brave. So we want to continue going down here. We also, since we're going for full map completion, we want to make sure that we go on the different sides of the maps. You know, so go left to right, pretty much, on every screen. Make sure that you're just filling in everything. Drop down over here. Over here. Nothing on that side. Now, there is an Easter egg with those birds, where if you leave the area and come back multiple times, what happens is they'll lay eggs and they'll hatch, and then those birds will grow up and they'll make a new nest underneath this vase, I believe. But that takes a while and it's a little tedious, so I'm not going to show it off, but you can find, you know, clips of it. What we're really down here for is we want to come down here and look through this telescope. Strange. So yeah, there was nothing there. That's a little odd. We'll have to come back and maybe see if there's something in the telescope again.